Hi, my name is Alicia Rafik, and I'll be presenting on five special educational needs and disability declaration or policy or law. The first disability I will be looking at is the Kingston Accord 2004. Opportunities is to promote regional integration and cooperation. It was signed on March 3rd, 2004. The benefits is to promote human rights and social justice. In terms of improving access to services and highlights the needs to improve access for persons with disabilities to public facilities, transportation, social and health services, education and employment opportunities, which will facilitate full participation and inclusion. The challenges, barriers to employment and economic inclusion. In terms of institutional barriers, ineffective access to health and limited knowledge regarding disability, inclusive employment practices among service providers further reinforce exclusion. Historic significance, barriers to employment and economic inclusion conventions. To the end, another disability I'll be looking at is the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, which is also known as CRPD. The opportunities, advancing inclusive education, the date and signatories. It was signed, the date and signatories, United Nations Human Rights Treaty bodies. There were 164 signatories. The CRPD was adopted in December 2006 and entered into force in May 2008. The benefits, it promotes human rights and equality, which provide a framework for governments to create and implement laws that protect and promote the rights of people with disabilities in all areas of life, from accessibility and education to employment and justice. The challenges, limited financial and human resources. The expense of making the buildings, public transport, sidewalks, etc., universally accessible in high financial constraints lead to inaccessible infrastructure, effectively locking persons with disabilities out of public life, work, and services. The historic significance promote, protect, and ensure the full and equal enjoyment of all human rights. Another disability is the Americans with Disabilities Act, also known as the ADA. Opportunities, employment opportunities, purchase goods and services, and participate in state and local government programs. Date and signatories, President George H.W. Bush, and this was signed on July 26, 1990. The benefits, ADA protects individuals from job discrimination based on their disability. Challenges, prejudice, and discrimination. Historic significance prohibits discrimination against individuals with disabilities in all areas of public life. Another disability is the National Council for Persons with Disabilities, Guyana. Opportunities, improve access to education and vocational training. The date and signatories say that this was signed by the Minister of Health, of Human Services and Social Security, Vidya Prasad, and the Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony. This was established in January 2009, registered on September 2009. The benefits, advocating for the rights. The challenges, a lack of physical accessibility in public areas. The historic significance centers on the establishment of key institutions and legislation that move the nation towards inclusivity. And the last disability that I'll be looking at is the Guyana's Persons with Disabilities Act 2010. The opportunities, education and awareness, The date as signatories, the asset date was on the November 2nd, 2010, and the parliamentary date was June the 10th, 2010. Benefits, employment, challenges, employment and economic challenges. Historic significance represented a major step toward an inclusive society. And these here are the references that were used in the presentation. Thank you.